Look around you. You are at work. You work very hard. But do they see you? They see a worker. They see a uniform. They see a number. In your home country, you were someone. You were a manager. You were a teacher. You were an engineer. You had respect. Here you are, just a name on a badge. They do not ask for your idea. They talk over you. They look through you. You are invisible. This hurts. It hurts deep inside. Every morning you wake up. You go to work. You stay quiet. You hide your smart mind. Why? Because you think, my English is bad. Because you think, they will laugh at my accent. Because you think, I will make a mistake. So you say nothing. You just nod. You just smile. Days pass. Months pass. Years pass. And you start to forget. You forget how good you are. You forget your true value. The real you is dying inside. If you do not stop this, you will be a shadow forever. You will lose yourself. But listen to me. Today we stop. Today we stop hiding. You are not a shadow. You are not a number. In our story today, you will find the answer. We will learn about Marco. He was invisible, just like you. He was lost, but he found his voice. He broke the wall. Stay with me. Today, you will learn the words to speak up. Today, we will break your invisibility. I promise you. And for Marco to break through that invisible wall before delving into his story, you and I need to equip ourselves with the most essential linguistic weapons. Before we meet Marco, we need some tools. These are not just English words. These are weapons for your mind. Word number 1, invisible. Invisible means people cannot see you. You are in the room, but no one looks at you. You speak, but no one listens. You feel invisible, but remember this. Being invisible is just how they treat you. It is not who you are. You are real. Word number 2. Potential. Potential is your hidden power. It is what you can do. You have skills. You have a smart brain. You have past experience. That is your potential. Right now, it is sleeping inside you. But your potential is huge. Word number 3, contribute. To contribute means to give your value. You do not just come to work and take money. You give your time. You give your hard work. You fix problems. You contribute to the team. You are a giver. You are important. Word number 4, underestimate. This is a long word, but very important. Underestimate means they think you are small. They think you are not capable. They look at your broken English, and they think you are not smart. They underestimate you. But listen to me, that is their mistake. It is not your truth. Invisible, potential, contribute, underestimate. Keep these 4 words in your heart. Now that you have these weapons in your hands, join me in stepping into Marco's world to see how a man once considered invisible used these very words to change his life. Let me tell you a story. This is a story about a man. His name is Marco. I want you to look at Marco. Close your eyes and imagine him. Look at his hands. His hands are rough. His hands are dry. Every day his hands hold a heavy mop. Every day his hands hold a broom. Every day his hands touch cold water and strong soap. The soap smells like lemon and chemicals. It is a strong smell. It stays on his skin all day. But Marco's hands were not always like this. A few years ago, his hands were different. In his home country, his hands held a special pen. His hands held a ruler. His hands touched clean white paper. In his home country, Marco was not a cleaner. Marco was a chief architect. He designed tall buildings. He designed beautiful houses for families. He had a big desk. He had a warm office. When he walked into the room, people smiled. People said, "Good morning, Mr. Marco." They asked him questions. They listened to his answers. He had a voice. He had respect. He was someone important. Then Marco made a big choice. He wanted a better future for his children. He wanted them to go to good schools. He wanted them to have safe lives. So he packed his bags. He put his degree, his university paper, in a small box. He left his home country. He moved to this new country. He thought, "I will work hard. I will build houses here too." But the new country was cold. The new country did not care about his past. When he showed them his university paper, they shook their heads. They said, "We do not know this school." They said, "You need local experience." They said, "Your English is not good enough." So the big doors closed. The doors of the offices closed. The doors of the design rooms closed. The only door that opened for him was the back door, the door for the cleaning staff. Now, Marco works for a very big construction company. It is a famous company. They build the tallest buildings in the city. Marco works there, but he does not build. He cleans. He wears a blue uniform. The uniform has no name on it. It just has the logo of the cleaning company. To the people in the office, Marco is not an architect. He is just the man who empties the trash. He is just the man who cleans the floor when they spill coffee. Every morning, Marco wakes up very early. It is 4 a.m. It is dark outside. It is cold. He looks in the mirror in his small bathroom. He looks at his tired eyes. He washes his face. He puts on his blue uniform. He makes a cheap cup of coffee. He sits at his small kitchen table. Under his bed, he still keeps his old drawings. Sometimes he pulls them out. He looks at the beautiful lines. He looks at the perfect shapes. He remembers the feeling of creating something big. A deep pain hits his heart. It hurts. It hurts so much. He takes the early bus to work. The bus is full of people like him, tired people, quiet people, peoples wearing uniforms. Marco looks out the bus window. He sees the tall glass buildings in the city. He looks at the buildings and thinks, "I know how to build that." He thinks, "I know how to make that stronger. I know how to make that better." But he cannot say it. He does not have the words. He does not have the position. When he arrives at the big company, he takes his cleaning cart. He walks past the big meeting rooms. The rooms have walls made of clear glass. Inside, he sees the local architects. They wear nice suits. They wear beautiful dresses. They drink expensive coffee. They point at the big screens. They talk about building designs. Marco stops for a second. He looks through the glass. He is so close to them. Only a thin piece of glass is between them, but it feels like 1,000,000 miles. He can see his dream, but he cannot touch it. What does Marco want? He does not just want more money. Money is good, yes, but he wants something deeper. He wants his name back. He wants to take off the blue uniform. He wants to sit at a desk with a white piece of paper. He wants to hold a pen, not a mop. He wants to look at a team and say, "This is my design." He wants to hear someone say, "That is a great idea, Marco." He wants to be seen. He wants to be heard. He is tired of being a shadow. He is tired of being invisible. This fire is burning inside him every single day. It is a quiet fire, but it is very hot. He wants his real life back. That burning desire blazed in Marco's heart every day. But life wasn't that easy. The greater the desire, the higher and colder the wall that stood in his way. Let's see what was holding Marco captive. Marco has a dream. But a dream is not enough. Between Marco and his dream, there is a wall. It is a very high wall. It is a very thick wall. This wall is not made of stone. This wall is not made of wood. This wall is made of words. It is made of language. Every day Marco goes to work. He tries to listen. He tries to learn. He listens to the people in the big office, but they speak so fast. They speak very, very fast. To Marco, their words sound like water running. He cannot catch the words. He cannot stop the words. Sometimes someone speaks to him. They say, "Hey, can you clean this room fast? We have a big meeting." Marco understands the words clean and fast and meeting. He wants to say, "Yes, I will do it right now. Have a good meeting." But his tongue is heavy. His mouth is dry. He is afraid. He is afraid of saying the wrong word. He is afraid of making a mistake. If he makes a mistake, maybe they will laugh. If he makes a mistake, maybe they will think he is stupid. So he says nothing. He just nods his head. He smiles a small smile. He says yes. Only one word. Yes? He goes into the room. He cleans. He leaves. He feels small. He feels very small. The language is the first barrier. But there is a second barrier. It is a colder barrier. It is how people look at him, or how people do not look at him. Do you remember Marco's name? His name is Marco. It is a beautiful name. In his home country, everyone said his name. But in this big company, nobody asks for his name. Nobody says, "Good morning, Marco." Nobody says, "How are you today, Marco?" When they need him, they do not use his name. They say, "Hey." They say, "Excuse me." Sometimes they do not even speak. They just point. They point to the coffee on the floor. They point to the full trash bin. They treat him like a machine that cleans. Marco is a man. He has a history. He has a smart brain. But to them, he is just the blue uniform. This is the barrier of disrespect. It hurts more than physical pain. It cuts deep into his heart. One day, there is a big problem in the office. The local architects are standing around a big table. They are looking at a big paper, a building design. They look worried. They are arguing. Marco is cleaning the window near the table. He looks at the paper. He knows this drawing. It is a design for a bridge. Marco was a chief architect. He knows bridges perfectly. He looks closely. He sees a mistake. It is a big mistake in the numbers. The bridge will not be safe. For 1 second, Marco forgets he is a cleaner. He forgets his blue uniform. He walks to the table. He wants to say, "Excuse me, the calculation for the support beam is incorrect. It will break under heavy weight." But he does not know the English words, calculation or support beam. He points his rough finger at the paper. He says, "This? Wrong. No good. Break." The room becomes very quiet. The architects stop talking. They look at Marco. They do not look at the paper. They look at his uniform. They look at his wet hands. One architect sighs. He looks angry and annoyed. He says, "Please do not touch the papers. Just clean the window. We are busy." He uses a slow voice. He talks to Marco like Marco is a child. He thinks Marco is stupid because Marco cannot speak perfect English. Marco pulls his hand back. His face is red. He is embarrassed. He is ashamed. He takes his mop. He walks away. He hears them laughing quietly behind him. They do not check the drawing. They just laugh at the cleaner. This is the final barrier. This is the hardest barrier. When people treat you like you are nothing, you start to believe it. This is the true danger of being invisible. Marco walks into the small, dark bathroom. He closes the door. He is alone. He looks in the mirror again. He asks himself, "Are they right? Am I just a cleaner now? Maybe my time is over. Maybe I am not smart anymore." The fire inside him is getting small. The cold wind of this new country is blowing out his fire. He wants to give up. He wants to accept his invisible life. It is easier to be invisible. It is easier to say yes and do nothing. When you're invisible, nobody laughs at you. When you are invisible, nobody tells you that you are wrong. So Marco decides to build his own wall. A wall around his own heart. He decides to stop looking at the drawings. He decides to stop listening to the architects. He will just be a number. He will just be a shadow in the corner. The barrier is now complete. Marco is trapped inside. Marco had fallen. He had locked himself in the darkness. But you know the depths of despair are often where a glimmer of light begins. No one gives up so easily. And Marco was no exception. Every story has a villain. Every story has a bad guy. In movies, the villain is a monster. The villain has big teeth. But in real life, the villain is different. For an immigrant, the villain wears a suit. The villain works in the same office. The villains smile, but the smile is cold. In Marco's story, the external villain has a name. His name is Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas is the manager of the building. He is a tall man. He always wears a grey suit. He always looks at his watch. Tick-tock. Time is money. To Mr. Thomas, the office workers are important. But the cleaners are just machines. Mr. Thomas never looks Marco in the eye. When Mr. Thomas speaks to Marco, he does not use Marco's name. He says you. He says, "Hey, cleaner." He speaks very loudly. He speaks very slowly. Like Marco is a child. Like Marco cannot understand anything. One rainy Tuesday, the office is very busy. People are walking everywhere with wet shoes. The floor is dirty. Marco is working very hard. His back hurts. His hands hurt. He pushes the heavy mop left and right, left and right. He wants to make the floor perfect. Then Mr. Thomas walks in. Mr. Thomas stops. He points his long finger at the floor. There is a dark spot on the floor. It is not dirt. Marco knows what it is. It is an old chemical stain from the construction. It cannot be cleaned with water. It needs a special machine. But Mr. Thomas does not care. He shouts across the room, "Hey, you come here." Everyone in the office stops talking. They all look at Marco. Marco feels his face get hot. He walks slowly to Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas looks angry. "Look at this," Mr. Thomas says. "Are you blind? It is dirty." Marco shakes his head. He tries to find the English words. He wants to say, "Sir, that is a chemical stain. The mop cannot remove it." But the words do not come out. His throat is tight. He says softly, "No dirt. Old mark. Chemical." Mr. Thomas laughs. It is not a nice laugh. It is a cruel laugh. "Chemical number, it is laziness." "You are lazy," Mr. Thomas says. "I pay you to clean, so clean it. Now, do not give me your broken English excuses." He says broken English excuses very loudly. The people in the office hear it. Some of them look away. Some of them whisper. Marco stands there. He is a 45-year-old man. He was a chief architect. And now a man in a grey suit is treating him like a lazy dog, in front of everyone. Marco looks down at his wet shoes. He takes the mop. He puts it on the dark spot. He rubs the floor. He rubs it again. He knows it is useless. But he must do it. He must obey the villain. Because if he speaks, he will lose his job. If he loses his job, his children will suffer. So he swallows his pride. He swallows his anger. It tastes like ashes in his mouth. Mr. Thomas walks away. The external villain wins this battle, but Mr. Thomas is not the worst villain. The worst villain is the one inside Marco's head. When Mr. Thomas yelled at him, something woke up inside Marco. It is the internal villain. It is the voice of fear. Marco goes to the small, dark supply closet. He closes the door. It is completely dark. He sits on a plastic bucket. He puts his head in his hands. He breathes in. He breathes out. His heart is beating fast. And then the internal villain starts to whisper. The voice whispers in the dark. "Mr. Thomas is right," the voice says. "Look at you. You are in a dark closet. You hold a mop. You cannot even say a simple sentence in English. Why did you come to this country? You made a mistake." Marco tries to close his ears, but the voice is inside his mind. "You are not an architect anymore," the voice continues. "Those beautiful buildings in your home country, they are the past. Here you are nothing. You are nobody. Your English is broken. So you're broken. Do not try to be special. Just clean the floor. Keep your head down. Be invisible. It is safer to be invisible." This is the true danger. The external villain hurts your pride, but the internal villain destroys your soul. Marco sits in the dark for a long time. A tear falls from his eye. It drops onto his rough hands. The internal monster is wrapping its cold arms around him. It is telling him to give up. It is telling him to accept the blue uniform forever. He feels heavy. He feels so tired. He thinks, maybe the voice is right. Maybe I am just a number. He is at the bottom of the deep hole. It is dark. It is cold. And he is completely alone. Marco had hit rock bottom. He believed he was truly invisible and useless. But in the darkness of that cramped storage room, a small ray of light awaited him. Sometimes the secret to changing your life isn't a grand miracle, but simply a small shift in mindset. Marco is still in the dark closet. He is sitting on the plastic bucket. It is quiet. He only hears his own breathing. He wants to stay in the dark forever. Suddenly, the door opens. A bright yellow light comes into the small room. Marco closes his eyes. The light is too bright. A shadow stands in the door. It is a man. It is not Mr. Thomas. It is Mr. Demir. Mr. Demir is the night security guard of the building. He wears a dark blue uniform, just like Marco. He is an older man. His hair is white. His face has many deep lines, but his eyes are very kind. They are warm. Mr. Demir looks at Marco. He sees Marco's wet eyes. He sees the heavy sadness on Marco's shoulders. He does not laugh. He does not yell. He walks into the small closet. He closes the door halfway. He sits down on an old box next to Marco. For a long time, they sit in silence. They do not need words right away. They share the same pain. They understand the language of the broken immigrant. Then Mr. Demir speaks. His voice is slow. It is very calm and deep. "It is a hard day, my friend," Mr. Demir says. Marco nods slowly. "Very hard," Marco whispers. "Mr. Thomas?" Mr. Demir asks. Marco nods again. "He called me lazy. He laughed at my English." Marco looks at his rough hands. "I think he is right. I am nothing here. I am just a cleaner." Mr. Demir sighs. He touches Marco's shoulder. "Look at me, Marco," Mr. Demir says softly. Marco looks up. "Do you know who I was in my home country?" Mr. Demir asks. Marco shakes his head. "No." "I was a doctor," Mr. Demir says. "A heart doctor. I saved many lives. People called me Dr. Demir. They respected me." Marco opens his eyes wide. He is shocked. "Yes." Mr. Demir smiles a very sad smile. "And now I open doors. I check locks. People walk past me every day. They do not look at my face. They do not see a doctor. They see a guard. I am invisible, just like you." Marco feels a sudden connection. He is not alone. Mr. Demir looks deeply into Marco's eyes. But Marcos, listen to me carefully, he says. They can take your office. They can take your title. They can put you in a cleaning uniform. But they cannot take your brain. They cannot take your experience. The only person who can take your power, Astis, is you. When you give up. Marco thinks about the bad voice in his head. But my English is so bad, Marco says. I cannot speak. I cannot defend myself. Mr. Demir smiles. English is just a tool, Marco. It is like a hammer. You do not cry because you do not have a hammer. You go and find one. Mr. Demir puts his old hand in his pocket. He pulls out something small. He gives it to Marco. Marco takes it. It is a small notebook. It has a black cover. It has cheap paper. Mr. Demir also gives Marco a blue pen. What is this? Marco asks. This is your secret weapon, Mr. Demir says. This is how you fight, Mr. Thomas. This is how you fight your fear. Marco looks at the cheap notebook. He does not understand. When you clean the meeting rooms, do not just clean the floor, Mr. Demir explains. Listen to the architects. Listen to their words. When you hear a new word, write it in this book. When you see a mistake on their drawings, draw the correct lines in this book. Do not be just a cleaner. Be a student. Be a spy. Marco looks at the small black notebook. It is very light, but it feels very heavy with meaning. It feels like a door opening. Mr. Thomas wants you to be invisible, Mr. Demir says. So use it. When you are invisible, nobody stops you. Nobody watches you. You have time to learn. You have time to prepare. Build your vocabulary. Build your confidence page by page. And one day, when the time is right, you will open your mouth and you will surprise them all. Mr. Demir stands up. He pats Marco on the shoulder one last time. Do not let the darkness win, my friend, he says. He walks out of the closet. The door closes. Marco is alone again. But the closet does not feel cold anymore. He holds the small notebook in his hands. He opens the first page. The paper is clean and white. He clicks the pen. Click. He has not held a pen for a long time. It feels so right in his fingers. On the first page, he writes one word in English, architect. Then he writes his name, Marco. He looks at the words. He reads them again. The internal villain is quiet now. The monster is gone. A new fire is starting in Marco's heart. He puts the notebook in his pocket, right next to his heart. He stands up. He takes his mop. He is ready to go back to work. But he is not the same man. He is not just a number anymore. He is a man with a plan. He is a man with a secret weapon. Marco emerged from that dark room, no longer a resigned man. The small notebook in his breast pocket had become a comforting flame, but mere thinking wasn't enough. The real battle was just beginning. Let's see how Marco used this weapon in the days to come. The next day, Marco wakes up at 4 a.m. It is still dark. It is still cold. He puts on his blue uniform. But today the uniform feels different. It does not feel like a prison anymore. It feels like a mask. It is his disguise. He takes his mop. He puts the small black notebook in his pocket, right next to his heart. He goes to work. Marco walks into the big meeting room. The local architects are inside. They are drinking expensive coffee. They are talking loudly. Before, Marco hated this room. Before, the English words made him feel stupid and small. But today, Marco wants to hear the words. He starts to clean the large glass table. He moves his hands slowly, up and down, left and right. He keeps his head down. He looks like a normal cleaner. But his ears are open. He is listening. One architect points at a drawing. He says, "We need to check the foundation." Marco hears the word. Foundation. He knows what it means in his mind. It is the bottom of the building, but now he knows the English sound. He looks around. Nobody is looking at him. He is invisible, and that is his power. He quickly takes out his black notebook. He writes the word foundation. He puts the notebook back in his pocket. He continues to clean. Up and down. This is his new secret life. Every day Marco collects words. He is like a poor man collecting gold coins in the street. When he cleans the floors, he listens. He writes blueprint. He writes structure. He writes measurements. He writes concrete. Sometimes the words are very long. He does not know how to spell them. He just writes the sounds. But collecting words is only half the battle. The real fight happens at night. At night, Marco goes back to his small, cold apartment. His children are sleeping. The house is very quiet. Marco sits at his small kitchen table. He turns on a small lamp. The light is dim. He opens the black notebook. He opens a free dictionary on his old phone. He looks at the word structure. He touches the screen. He listens to the phone's voice. The voice says, structure. Marco tries to say it. Structure. He stops. It sounds wrong. It sounds very bad. He tries again. Structure. It is very difficult. His tongue is thick. His mouth is not used to these sounds. He tries to say the word through. The TH sound is so hard. It feels impossible. For a moment, Marco feels very tired. His hands hurt from cleaning all day. His head hurts from learning all night. He wants to close the book. He wants to go to sleep. But then he remembers Mr. Thomas. He remembers the cruel laugh in the office. He remembers the words, broken English excuses. The fire in his heart burns hot again. He looks at the first page of his notebook. He looks at the word he wrote, architect, Marco. He takes a deep breath. He opens his mouth. He tries again. Structure. This time, it is a little better. He smiles a small smile. Weeks pass. Months pass. Marco's notebook is getting full. The pages are dirty, but they are full of knowledge. He does not only write words now. He writes short sentences. When he cleans the architect's tables, he looks at their big drawings. He does not touch the papers. He remembers the anger of Mr. Thomas, but he looks with his eyes. He studies the lines. He studies the numbers. In his mind, he is working with them. He is building the city. One day, Marco is in the hallway. He is writing a new word in his notebook. He is looking down. Suddenly, a door opens quickly. It is Mr. Thomas, the villain in the grey suit. Mr. Thomas walks out. He sees Marco standing still. Marco's heart jumps. He is terrified. He quickly hides the notebook behind his back. Mr. Thomas looks at him with cold, narrow eyes. "What are you doing?" Mr. Thomas asks loudly. "Why are you just standing there?" If Mr. Thomas sees the notebook, he will laugh. He will take it away. Marco's hands are shaking. He feels the fear coming back. But then Marco remembers Mr. Demir's words. "Be a spy." Marco takes a breath. He makes his face look completely empty. He looks at Mr. Thomas. He says in a slow, quiet voice, "Sorry, sir, I have a pain in my back. I rest for 1 minute." His English is simple, but it is clear. Mr. Thomas rolls his eyes. He shakes his head. "No rest. We do not pay you to rest." "Clean the main hall." "Now," Mr. Thomas says. "Yes, sir," Marco replies. He walks past Mr. Thomas. He holds his arm tight against his body. The notebook is safe. The dream is safe. Marco walks to the main hall. He lets out a long breath. He survived. This small victory changes him. He realizes that he is getting smarter. He is getting stronger. When he rides the bus home, he looks out the window. It is raining. The people on the bus look sad and tired, but Marco does not feel tired anymore. He listens to two people talking on the bus. He understands their words. He understands their sentences. He is not deaf anymore. The English language is not just noise. It is becoming a tool in his rough hands. He knows he is not perfectly ready yet. A good architect knows that building a strong tower takes time. Building a strong voice takes time too. He will be patient. He will wait for the perfect moment. He will keep cleaning, and he will keep learning. The invisible student is preparing for his final test. Marco patiently honed his weapon in the shadows. But a sword cannot remain sheathed forever. There will always be a fateful moment, a golden opportunity to test the hero. And that day finally arrived for Marco. 6 months pass. Winter is gone. Spring is here. Marco is still wearing the blue uniform. But inside he is not the same man. His black notebook is now full of words. His mind is sharp. He is ready. He is just waiting for the door to open. Today is a very important day at the company. It is the day of the big presentation. The company wants to build a new hospital in the center of the city. It is a massive project, a multi-million-dollar project. The CEO of the company is here. He is an old man with silver hair. He looks very serious. All the top architects are in the big glass room. Mr. Thomas, the manager, is also there. He is sweating. He looks nervous. He wants everything to be perfect. Marco is in the room too. He is standing in this corner. He is holding his mop. He is invisible as always. The lead architect is talking. He points to a beautiful picture on the big screen. He points to a large blueprint on the table. This is the design for the new hospital, the lead architect says proudly. Everyone claps. Mr. Thomas smiles affablement. But the CEO does not smile. The CEO looks at the large paper on the table. He puts on his glasses. He looks very closely. He touches the paper. Wait, the CEO says. His voice is deep and heavy. The room becomes completely silent. Look at this corner, the CEO says. This is the emergency room area. There will be heavy machines here. Very heavy. He looks at the lead architect. The numbers here, they do not look right. Can this foundation support the weight? The lead architect stops smiling. His face becomes white. He looks at the paper. He starts to sweat. Well, sir, we calculated. The architect stammers. He is panicking. The other architects look at the paper. They are confused. There is a mistake. A big mistake in the structure. But nobody knows how to fix it quickly. The CEO is getting angry. This is a hospital. We cannot make mistakes with the structure, he shouts. Mr. Thomas is shaking. He looks around the room. Marco is standing in the corner. He looks at the big paper from far away. He sees the numbers. He sees the lines. His architectural brain is working very fast. He knows the problem. He knows the exact calculation. He knows how to fix the foundation. His heart starts to beat very fast. Thump, thump, thump. The internal villain whispers, "Stay quiet, you are just a cleaner." But Marco touches his chest. He feels the hard cover of his black notebook. He remembers Mr. Demir. He remembers his own name. He takes a deep breath. Marco lets go of his mop. The mop falls to the floor. Clack. In the silent room, the sound is very loud. Everyone turns around. They look at the corner. They look at the cleaner in the blue uniform. Marco starts to walk. He does not look down. He looks straight ahead. He walks toward the big glass table. Mr. Thomas's face becomes red with anger. Hey, what are you doing? Mr. Thomas shouts. Get out! Get out of here right now! Are you crazy? Mr. Thomas runs to stop Marco. But Marco does not stop. He walks past Mr. Thomas. He stands right in front of the large table. He stands right next to the CEO and the lead architect. The architects are shocked. They cannot believe their eyes. Marco looks at the CEO. He uses his new English. His voice is a little slow, but it is very clear. It is very strong. Excuse me, sir, Marco says. He points his rough finger at the blueprint. The architect is right. The weight is too heavy for this corner. Mr. Thomas screams, "Security, call, security." But the CEO raises his hand. Stop, the CEO says to Mr. Thomas. The CEO looks at Marco. Go on, he says. Marco opens his mouth. The words from his notebook flow out. The foundation here is standard, Marco says. But you need a deep structure. You need concrete pillars here and here. Marco takes a red pen from the table. The lead architect tries to stop him, but Marco is faster. Marco draws 3 strong, perfect lines on the paper. He writes a new number next to the lines. If you change this angle to 45 degrees, the support will carry the heavy machines safely. He puts the pen down. He looks at the CEO. It is a simple fix, sir, but it will save the building. The room is dead silent. You can hear a pin drop. The lead architect looks at Marco's red lines. His eyes open wide. He takes a calculator. He types very fast. He looks up at the CEO. He is shocked. He is right, sir, the architect whispers. The math is perfect. This is brilliant. The CEO looks at the blueprint. Then he looks at Marco. He looks at Marco's rough hands. He looks at his blue uniform. Then he looks into Marco's eyes. He does not see a cleaner. He sees a master. Who are you? The CEO asks softly. Mr. Thomas says quickly. Sir, he is just the cleaning guy. His English is broken. Shut up, Thomas, the CEO says sharply. He never takes his eyes off Marco. I asked him, who are you? Marco stands tall. He feels his shoulders open. The heavy invisible wall shatters into a million pieces. The mask falls away. He is not hiding anymore. He looks directly into the CEO's eyes. My name is Marco, he says clearly and proudly. I am an architect. The moment Marco uttered the words, I am an architect, his life took a new turn. But this story isn't just Marco's. It's your story. Now, let's step outside of this story and look back at our own journeys. After Marco says, I am an architect, the room is quiet. The CEO looks at Marco's blue uniform. He looks at Marco's rough hands. Then the CEO smiles. It is a real warm smile. A great architect, the CEO say. Mr. Thomas, the bad manager, is very quiet. His face is pale. He looks down at the floor. He cannot speak. The villain is defeated, not with shouting, not with anger. The villain is defeated with truth and knowledge. The CEO asks Marco to sit down at the big glass table. They do not talk about cleaning anymore. They talk about angles. They talk about weight. They talk about concrete. Marco's English is not perfect. Sometimes he speaks slowly. Sometimes he needs a moment to find the right word. But nobody laughs. Everyone listens very carefully. Because when you have real value, people will wait for your words. When the long meeting finishes, Marco stands up. He walks out of the big glass room. He leaves his mop on the floor. He does not pick it up. He does not need it anymore. That invisible life is over. He goes to the locker room. He takes off the blue uniform. He folds it slowly. He puts it in the dirty clothes box. He puts on his normal clothes, his street clothes. He walks out of the big building. The sun is shining brightly. The air feels fresh and clean. He takes a deep breath. He feels light. He feels completely free. When he goes home, he opens the door. His children run to him. "Papa," they say happily. He hugs them. He holds them very tight. He looks at his wife. He says, "I did it. They see me now." His wife cries happy tears. The dark days are finally over. 1 month later, the company has a new structural engineer. His name is on a beautiful glass door. It says Marco, structural engineer. He has a big desk. He has a bright, warm office. When he walks in the hallway, people smile at him. They say, "Good morning, Marco. How are you today?" He is visible. He is respected. He has his name back. But Marco is a good man. He never forgets his past. In his desk drawer, he still keeps the small black notebook. The cheap notebook from Mr. Demir, the old security guard. Every morning, Marco looks at the notebook. It reminds him of the dark closet. It reminds him of his fear. And it reminds him that he fought the monster and won. Every evening, Marco goes to the lobby to drink tea with Mr. Demir. Marco always says, "Thank you, Dr. Demir." He gives the old man the respect he deserves. Now, my friend, let us talk about you, the person watching this screen right now. Why did I tell you Marco's story today? I told you this story because I see you. I know you're tired. Maybe you just came home from a very hard job. Maybe you're wearing a uniform right now. Maybe someone called you hey today instead of your beautiful name. Maybe someone laughed at your English today. I know it hurts. I know you want to cry in the dark. But listen to me. Listen to my voice. Marco did not learn English to become a different person. He learned English to be Marco. He learned English to show his true self to the world. English is not a test of your intelligence. English is not a measure of your brain. English is just a key. It is a key to unlock your cage. Right now you feel like you are at 0. You feel small. But you are not at 0. You have years of experience. You have a smart mind. You have a strong, brave heart. You have a house full of beautiful things inside you, but the door is locked. Language is the key to open that door. Do not let the internal villain win. Do not let the bad voice say, "You are too old to learn." Do not let the bad voice say, "It is too late for you." If Marco can do it, you can do it too. If Marco can break the invisible wall, you can break it too. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes hard work. You will make mistakes. You will pronounce words wrong. But every mistake is a step forward. Every new word you learn is a brick for your new house. You are the underdog right now. People look down on you, but the underdog always has the best comeback story. Start your own notebook today. When someone ignores you, write a new word. When someone underestimates you, write a new sentence. Turn your sadness into power. Turn your anger into vocabulary. One day your wall will break. One day you will step forward. You will speak up, and they will finally see you. They will see your brilliant mind. You are not just a number. You are a professional. Your time to shine is coming. Marco's story has ended, but your journey has only just begun. Now, let's step out of the story. Let's sit down together, look straight at the reality of your life right now, and break down the 3 most essential lessons that you can apply tomorrow. Welcome back. Did you see yourself in Marco? Did you feel his pain? I know you did, because Marco's story is your story. Let us step out of the story now. Let us look at your life today. Marco's story is not just a nice movie. It is a map. It is a map to help you find yourself again. Today, I want you to take 3 deep lessons from Marco and put them in your heart. Lesson number 1. Your value never dies. When you moved to this new country, you left many things behind. You left your house. You left your friends. You left your old office. But you did not leave your brain. You did not leave your skills. Like Marco, your past experience is still inside you. It is alive. A new country can give you a cheap uniform. A bad boss can give you a mop. But a uniform cannot erase your mind. A mop cannot clean away your intelligence. Do not let them make you feel empty. You are full of value. You are just waiting for the right time to show it. Lesson number 2. The biggest villain is inside you. Mr. Thomas was a bad man. He was cruel. But Mr. Thomas was not Marco's biggest enemy. Marco's biggest enemy was his own fear. The voice in his head. Look at yourself right now. Like Marco, you are letting fear lock you in a dark closet. You are afraid of making mistakes. You are afraid of their laughs. You are afraid of their eyes. So you stay quiet. You hide your brilliant ideas. You must stop this today. Do not do the villain's job. Do not hold yourself down. You must be your own best friend. You must protect your own fire. Lesson number 3. English is your weapon, not your judge. Many of you think, I cannot speak perfect English, so I am not smart. This is a lie. This is a very dangerous lie. Look at Marco. Did he use perfect grammar to save the building? No. He used his professional knowledge and just enough English words to explain it. Stop trying to be perfect. Start trying to be understood. Learn the words for your profession. Learn the words to defend yourself. When you speak broken English, do not feel ashamed. Your broken English is proof of your courage. It means you are brave enough to build a life in a new world. It is a badge of honor. Look at your hands right now. Look at them. Are you ready to hold the pen again? Are you ready to break the invisible wall? You've gained new awareness. You've developed a new way of thinking. But thinking will remain mere theory without action. Right now, while the fire within you is burning brightly, I have a small challenge for you. Now it is time for action. Listening to my voice is good, but doing is better. Today, I have a small challenge for you. Before you go to sleep tonight, take a piece of paper. Write down one English word or one mistake that makes you afraid. Just one. Then take a red pen. Cross it out. Draw a big, heavy X over that word. Say out loud, this word does not control me. This is your first step to breaking the wall. Next, let us practice our English together. Go to the comments below. Look at this sentence. I am not just a blank. I am a professional. What is the missing word from our story today? Is it a shadow? Is it B number? Is it C machine? Write your answer in the comments. Let the world see your first English sentence today. I promise I will read every single comment. If Marco's story brought you value today, please click like. Share this video with a friend who is also wearing a uniform right now. They need to hear this too. And please subscribe to Everyday Confidence English. We are a family here. You are not walking alone anymore. We will walk together. After they've committed to action, we need to slow the pace. Let them leave this video feeling peaceful, in control, and empowered before going to bed. We are at the end of our time today. Look away from the screen for a moment. Look at your hands. Take a very deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Drop your shoulders. Let go of the heavy weight. You have carried it for too long. Today was a long day. Maybe it was a hard day. Maybe people did not see you today. Maybe they did not hear you. That is okay. I see you. And more importantly, you see you. You are not your uniform. You are not your job title. You are not your broken English. You are a person with a beautiful, brilliant mind. You are a person with a deep, strong history. Nobody can give you your value, and nobody can take it away. Only you can decide your value. Starting tomorrow, you will not be a shadow. Starting tomorrow, you will walk a little taller. You will listen. You will learn. You will build your secret weapon, word by word. Do not rush. A big tree will grow, so your English will grow, your voice will grow. Rest now. Sleep well tonight. You are safe here. You are strong. You have the power to change. Your value is decided by you. I will see you tomorrow as a better, stronger version of yourself. Goodbye for now, my friend.